Hello everybody, welcome back tonight to the pigsty. Tonight we are jumping in to the deep end, straight in. I have very little knowledge of Tobin. If anybody knows, of course everybody knows Critical Cripple. Last week Critical, I think, seen Tobin on a channel and was like, you need to interview this guy. And I was like, what? Interview him. So I DM'd him, we sorted an interview, and a week later we're here. So what you're about, and links for his channel is in the description.
Well, I'm a family man. I have a wife and 2 kids, and I'm many things, really. I have many interests, like in the carpentry, to brick making, to playing music. My YouTube channel is here to help normalize atheism, but I put out music. I make songs, and they have messages that surround our community. Some of the things that like the last song that I put out, I did a little contest, and Paul Camish won the contest, and I told the person who won I would make a song for them, and I would let them influence me what the song would be about, and he chose the topic of there's no atheist in foxholes, and which I was really stoked for it, because that idea hadn't made it to my paper yet. I hadn't gotten to that one, and he put it out there, and I took it and ran with it, and I enjoy jamming the song now. I'm like, yeah, that it's a good song. Yeah,
the music can be very therapeutic. I take it from the collection of guitars behind you. It's not just something that's fleeting, it's a goal, it's something that's happening on the channel, so you have a passion for music, mainly guitars, I would assume then, yeah?
Well, it got into me pretty young, and the drums, I was actually, I probably spent more time behind the drums than I have behind the guitar and vocals, as far as playing in a band. And like I used to go out quite often and do open mic nights, and just go sit in behind the drums and play old rock tunes.
Yeah, well, rock and metal and sort of stuff like that, there would be the music that I would enjoy as well. It's something that has just always grown up with, a wee bit of a metaler, so to speak. Like, the beard and the long hair maybe gives it away ever so slightly. I used to have the long hair. I don't anymore. It got too big of a forehead. It's one of those things, Well, coming into the community, from a background in music, you're in a band, you're playing drums and stuff like that. Normalizing atheism is the goal of the channel as well. Is that something that you came to YouTube and stumbled across, or is the atheism something that you were looking for when you came to YouTube and then you get stuck with all of us, or?
About 6 years ago, I got good internet, or I started getting internet. I had a period of time where there was I had 3 years where I didn't have very much use of it.
Yeah.
About 6 years ago, I started getting into it, and the questions about theology and stuff like that. I was a non-believer. I've been a non-believer since I was in my young teens, but I had not gotten to that point where I was like, I'm an atheist. And once I got the idea that, atheists are saying, I don't know, and that was basically what I was saying. And I was like, I'm an atheist.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
And then
the mentality was there before you had a label for it.
Yeah. And really, all of y'all across the board, there are so many names that have influenced me, and y'all just gave me better terms to use to have these conversations.
You're at the start where it's all sounding fun and enjoyable and stuff like that there, and it is fun, and I do enjoy philosophy myself, but there's not a lot of people that like to talk about philosophy. It's a small sort of niche, but as I said in an interview, I think it was with Overprotected Atheist, I think it was, it does have a need. It does, as you put across, give you the labels and the terms and the terminology to better describe what you're actually feeling. You know, it's like, I'm a non-believer, and you leave it at that, but now you've got the words and the meanings and the, you know, the ontology and things like that, and you can move forward, and it does make it easier to describe exactly what you're feeling.
Yeah, so I mean, I chose y'all. I mean, as long as y'all don't kick me out, y'all are pretty much stuck with me, because I enjoy the content. I've been watching Critical Questions for quite some time now. I've just started really interacting with y'all. My interest has shifted, and like, instead of like having more conversations with Christians, I've started having a lot more conversations with other atheists. I'm just interested in what y'all think too. Like, it got to like politics and stuff like that, and I was like, well, you know, like, that is all changed for me too. Like, my understanding of it now is all.
Your
changed.
audio's a wee bit crackly there, Tobin. Is that on your end? Can you maybe like fiddle with the lead ever so slightly? It sounds just ever so slightly crackly. It doesn't matter if you can't. Just give it a go. If it doesn't, we just wing it. Just fine. Don't worry about it.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah, talking to more atheists about atheism and finding yourself, so to speak, finding, you know, the labels and the descriptors of what you're trying to say then.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, it's been really cool. I mean, I now consume, but man, my computer is going off with all these messages. It's distracting me.
Yeah, there's a couple of groups going crazy, like.
But yeah, my interest has changed. I've started having more conversations with other atheists, and I just really like interacting with y'all. And I'm here to join the conversations and just really make friends. I think this is really awesome. I've been talking to people all over the world. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, you know, on that topic of that, if something I can bring a wee bit of attention to is the GoFundMe that we have set up for Amanda. If Dave, if you're there, I haven't got it in the description. If you could pop it in the description or pop it in the chat would be fantastic. We have got I think 15 channels now going right across from Australia, going across Europe, into UK, East Coast, Central, West Coast, right across into California sort of direction and all. Everybody from across the world is jumping in to join us tomorrow for that. So that's at 5 p.m. Eastern, and it'll run from Friday 5 p.m. Eastern right through until Saturday 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll be jumping about all these different channels, but my channel will be running the whole time as a hub. So if people need information or anything like that, any links or anything like that, they'll be able to come here, see where the crack is, go to that channel if you want to involve yourself with that audience, or stay here or whatever. But the whole thing will be happening tomorrow. And yeah, if anybody can afford to, we're very, very close to the target, even though we haven't done the stream yet. So I don't know, I might have to get the mankini out to make up for it. I don't know what we're going to do, but only if you can afford, could you please chip in. But yeah, other than that, we back to Tobin. So as you said, Tobin, were you raised religious and then lost your faith, or were you always a non-believer?
No, I was raised religious, and I came from a very big family, so I had multiple denominations that were, I was going to different churches, but the main one was Jehovah's Witness.
Ooh.
And my mom was the one who went to be a Jehovah's Witness, but my dad didn't. He didn't buy into it. He's been a non-believer for a long time, but now that I started having more of these conversations, I've been talking with him, and I have found that really he falls along more the lines of a deist, who is like, nature is God, the universe is God.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty interesting, because for a long time I thought he doesn't think there is a God, or he's not gonna say it's not
Can
possible.
you give me a general area without doxing yourself of where you are in America, or where?
Yeah, I'm in Texas.
Oh, lovely place.
I pretty much smack dab in the middle of it.
So quite religious, slightly backwards. Lovely place.
Yes.
You see, that's a thing that I've mentioned before here in the channel. In America and other countries, it shocks me that this is about America, and it's especially over here when you talk about Christian fundamentalism and stuff like that, especially with the way the media is portrayed and things like that. You're talking about Iraq and things, places like that where the fundamentalism takes control, and there is correlations between the religions and how they take over the culture over there and in America. Like, and the fact that you thought your father was an atheist, but turns out he's more deist, sort of falls back on the idea of, it's hard to deny that there is a God at all. I haven't personally experienced it, but I've talked to people who have talked to people in America, and it shocks them that they don't believe there is a God. It shocks them that they're not an anti-theist, that they believe in God. He's just a cunt or anything like that. The actual stance that he doesn't exist at all is difficult for people in America to understand.
Yeah, I take it very slow whenever I'm trying to have a conversation with somebody with what they believe. I really try my best not to assume anything about them, especially whenever it's just in the comment sections. I mean, there's no telling who I'm talking to.
No, it's hard, especially with labels. Again, with the philosophy and stuff like that, because when you put yourself into a label or under a label, you're then classed by everything that goes with it, and all the baggage and all the bullshit that goes with it as well, which doesn't necessarily always attach to the particular person. Nobody is one particular label. We're all a section, a group, a wee bit of this and a wee bit of that. Everything's fucking grey. Everything's grey. There is no black and white.
I agree. There's a spectrum.
So you say you've been watching Dave for a wee while and stuff like that there. Could you remember what channel it was that dragged you into the community, kicking and screaming?
Atheist Edge led me to a lot of people, and that's and then Chris Mallard started doing the Daily Atheist Morning Show, and he was bringing a lot of the channels that bring on other atheists. I will subscribe to whoever's being interviewed or whatnot, and then it kept on rolling. I'm not sure who led me to Critical Cripple, but I really enjoy that show. Y'all have some great humor, and it's a good time.
I just hang my head in shame. I don't know if it's something to be proud of or not. Dave can have that mantle. In saying that, I do have my Series 1 trophy. Although I did lose the eye, and I just found a little green button. So, yeah, he's a little wonky at the minute. But Series 1 trophy, But, Dave's is a good channel as well. Because it's, I don't like using the word, but it's like a hub. There's an awful lot of us that'll all coincide there. You'd have people that you'd have only seen at Daily Atheist show. You'll have people that will only be seen at Jim's show and Neil's show and things like that. And everybody has their own wee groups. It's a subsection of a subsection of communities and stuff like that. But Dave's is a very, very good channel for everybody. Sort of comes together because it is on the topic of atheism, and it's down that sort of lines, and we have these conversations, and obviously everybody knows who we are. But it's for shits and giggles. It's not deliberately trying to be serious. It does get serious sometimes. The only rule in Dave's is you're not allowed to learn, but it's fun. It is an enjoyable thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to it. Like the shorts that he takes, the clips, I'm always answering. You could oftentimes whenever he's streaming, I actually have my hands in stuff. I have projects I have to get after. But he puts out the little short clips, and I don't think I've missed one in a long time. Like I like putting in answers.
Them. I never watch your clips, Dave. Sorry, never watch your little clips. I'm on the fucking show. I'm in on a lot of the clips. I don't need to rewatch them.
Right.
And he's so many. What number's he up to now? He's only at something like 500 or 600 now. When we're actually at question 1500, like. So much yet to go, like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a really cool. I really enjoy. I know there's a lot of good groups, a lot of good people. There's a lot of good conversations out there, and I think if we just keep at it like this, I think we'll reach a point to where those dogmatic beliefs kind of wane, and people will be more reasonable.
Yeah,
because that is one thing that, like, you're talking about with the Middle East and issues that they go through. Like, theocracy is dangerous, and
very much so.
And that's why I feel like it is necessary to rail against it, especially those people who are actually, trying to implement, government policies that are just really just crap, really. And
well, that is something that, there is channels out there that produce content, and don't get me wrong, I'm just going to pull names, and I loved Vice Rhino, does a wee bit of lives, has a bit of a community, and then you would go further into the other fields like, say Paul Gia, whose content is top notch, absolutely got more subscribers than any of all of us put together, but there's only mainly a Twitter following. There's not really a community, if you understand. They have their own wee niche and stuff like that there, but what we're trying to do here is, like, people like yourself is, my main focus is smaller channels, not the hanging out with the bigger people and not hanging out with the big names and stuff like that, but finding the small channels and finding, and bringing them into the crowd and making us one bigger community. Because, a bigger channel that has 50, 60,000 subscribers, okay, they're going to come here, they're going to bring views, that might get up to 100 people watching live and stuff like that, and we've only 15 people watching here now, but there will be 200 rewatches, the same probably as there would have been if I had a big name on, and the name will get out, you'll be known, you'll get about, and people will get to see who you are. You'll become part of the family, part of the wider community.
And you know what, that's another thing that has flipped for me too, is I have started to pay attention to that. Like Seth Andrews, he's got a very large audience, so I enjoy listening to him speak. I love hearing him tell his stories that he reads, but I have kind of waned. I don't visit his channel as much because he does have a large following, and I as well, I like to find all the upcoming channels, who else is out here.
Yeah, well, you see, that's the thing, as we said at the start, I have no fucking clue who you are, none whatsoever. It was up until about maybe 3 weeks ago, I had no idea who you are, and I had some interviews and I had some links and stuff like that I could have went and watched, and I thought, no, if I'm going to go in blind, I'm not going to steal someone else's interview or steal questions and this, that and the other. I can usually wing it okay, so we'll jump in like this. And it's because nobody knows who you are. Everybody knows who Aaron Raz. Everybody knows who Seth Andrews is. We all know their stories, how they got there. They're at their point that they're probably sick and fucking tired of talking about the same sort of shit. But finding out about you, finding out about what you believe, finding out your background, finding out what, you used to be an ex-Jehovah Witness. You don't look like any Jehovah Witness I ever met. Like, it's a lot more interesting to me than, say, having the 6th and 7th interview. First for me, but maybe the 6th or 7th interview for the guest. That's the exact same for them. We've all seen it. It's all a regurgitation, so to speak. This is new. This is exciting. And like you said, because it's a smaller channel, I'm going to talk to you today. We've talked in DMs. I'll probably see you at Dave's. We'll see you over at maybe Sandy's or something like that. There'll be a friendship that'll build there. It's not going to be interview this famous guy, maybe talk once or twice a year if I need them to come on for a big thing we're having, you know, come and join my stream. We want to go further than that. We want to build friendships, you know, we want to build a community to take the atheism that we have into the real world. Because if you watch Seth Andrews and things like that, again, sorry, fantastic channels, but just using that as an example because we mentioned it, you do still feel excluded. Because you're watching it and it's such a big following, you're just a name in the chat. We want to go that one wee stage further and take you from a name in the chat to part of the family.
It definitely feels that way. I mean, I just started uploading a month ago, and it may be like 2 months ago where I started really talking to more people and like, you know, starting to try to figure out how to interact.
Yeah, the live chat really is cool. Very interesting.
Yeah, I'd like, oh, I had a thought and it just popped right out of my head without me saying it. But yeah, no, it feels more like hanging out with people. Yeah. Like, after getting off school in a high school, we'd all go huddle up over at my friend's house, or, you know, we had different houses we'd go to.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. Like, yeah, I'm really here to make friends and like hang out.
That's exactly it, man. And it's hard to describe. Like, I've tried to explain to the child's mother before, and she's like, "They're just people on the internet, Robbie." And it's like, no, it's sort of not just people on the internet. You know, the connections that I've made, and especially with Manda, you know, I don't think it's. I don't want to get emotional because of the situation and stuff. Everybody knows I love the bones, Amanda, you know, and it's, these connections are real. Just because I can't reach out and give you a fucking high five doesn't mean that the conversations we have are less meaningful. It doesn't mean that the bonds that we have are less meaningful. Or when you're having a fucking bad day and you need someone to just go and talk to, and that person's there. You know, it means a big deal. You know, it's something that we have here that me personally over a very long period of time have not had. But, you know, being in Northern Ireland and not being an atheist in Northern Ireland or anything like that, just situational and more cultural and things like that there. But, you know, being in that small area, the internet has give us that ability to make connections.
Yeah, I live in a rural area. I'm 40 minutes away from the larger city. I have one that a little small town that's like 20 minutes away, but you know, I have started to make some friendships around here, but I'm not exactly you know,
we're assholes.
Yeah, this is
Oh, sorry, go on ahead. Okay, you're not an asshole. I don't know. You might be. I don't know.
But yeah, it does help, because I am a social creature. I do like going to parties and stuff like that, and yeah. I don't get that interaction that much out here where I'm at.
No, definitely. I prefer to be rural. I could not live in a fucking city if you paid me not a hope in hell. Belfast would be the closest big city to me. You know, not that Northern Ireland has many big cities, but I physically get angry when I'm in Belfast, driving around, too many lanes, this, that, and the other, overpriced parking, somebody bumps into you and doesn't give a shit and just walks on, no excuse me, and things like that. And recently I went down and we went to my brother's for my nephew's second birthday. And I'm not proud of this, don't get me wrong, but I was leaving and we were this lane and that lane, and I took the wrong lane and ended up on a freaking slipway to this, that, the other. And I just went, I fucking hate this fucking city. And my wee girl was there and she was like, yes, Daddy, I know you fucking hate this place. And I was just 3 and I was like, oh shit, don't say that. Don't, quiet. But I just don't like it. I would much rather go. Like, I went with Elena and we went to the largest viaduct in Ireland and we snuck off the track and climbed 100 foot of 120 foot up the side of it until she shit herself and we had to go back down again. Like, but that's fun. That's exciting for me. Rivers, waters, trees, gardens. Could not live in a city. Couldn't live in a city. But with that comes, as you say, you're right in your own then. 100%.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I am a country folk. I am. I have lived in the city for the majority of my life, but I got burnt out on it. It is extremely difficult unless you're financially completely set up. You know, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, and at times I even was making really good money, but my cost of living was so high, it was like, well, I might as, yeah, it, yeah.
No, I totally understand. You know, I would be the same. I would be very frugal and try and keep your money, only spend it what you need to and things like that. Everything I own is second hand. You know, money's not where happiness comes from. Money's there to pay bills. You know. What is my dog doing? Get up and lay down, dogs. Fuck. Money's just there to pay bills. You know, obviously it's financially stable, and obviously you have some money, you're happy. You have no money, you're sometimes, you know, you're sad and things like that. But it's not what's important. These connections that we're making, you know, these are important. If I can just go to the super chats, I ain't got no fucking clue what that says, so I'm just gonna go Agafid Tobin is destination Nagartia for 15th. Yeah, I have no fucking clue. And then Jim's all Annie knocking the breaking knocking chatting knocking dirting. There you go. Haven't a clue. I don't speak fucking Irish. I'm in Ireland, Northern Ireland. I speak Ulster Scots dialect. I don't fucking speak Irish or Gaelic or whatever that is. I haven't a clue. I don't read it. Do you read it? No.
Actually, it's crazy because just the other day, it may have been yesterday, there was somebody who started making comments on my videos, and it was all in Spanish. And my Spanish is, I talk like probably like a 4 or 5 year old. But I remembered, I was like, oh, I have a computer, it can translate for me. So I started using that, and it's been cool. We've been passing messages back and forth, and I've been speaking in Spanish. It's cool because it's giving me practice with it.
That's
so
really,
I'm really
good that
interested.
you made that effort, as you know, that it's you making that effort to actually speak back to him. It would be, you know, if he spoke to you in English and you spoke back to him in Spanish, practice for both of you. But you've made that step, and it just goes to show of, you know, I want to have the conversation with this person. Doesn't matter that it's another language barrier there. The internet's here. Using it for what it's good for. Using it for that advantage.
Yeah, that is really cool. I've had a full-blown out conversation with somebody that I wouldn't be able to understand. Like, I can read Spanish a little bit, but hearing it spoke to me is a whole another ball game.
I work quite close with the Polish fella, quite Christian Polish fella, and we would have conversations back and forth. And there is, when it gets down to the epistemology and things like that, there is sort of a, you know, we can have a conversation of what's in the Bible and do you like abortion and this, that, and the other and stuff. And on the top level, you know, because the English is there, but once you try and get a wee bit deeper and things like that, it does get, you know, difficult. So if anybody speaks fluent Polish, wants to come and be a Polish translator, I can get Pavel on, you know, DM me. Be an interesting conversation there. You know, yeah, it will become quite friendly as well at work. Banter back and forth. And when it comes to, Manda makes fun of us for this, like, but when it comes to lunches, he'll bring in some Polish food and I bring in some, and the two of us is in each other's lunch bags. You know, we just eat each other's food. It's not COVID safe, but fuck me, stand beside me anyway. I'd have COVID if he had it by now. But it's fun and it's enjoyable to get past that and to do talk to these people now. Especially someone from a completely different language. Because a different language builds your brain in a different way. You see colours a different way. You think a different way. You know, it's nice to get that added addition. And we always like talking to Ricardo. You know, I think he speaks Portuguese or Spanish, I think, is his first language. But yeah, it's definitely a good experience to do that.
Yeah.
Do you, other than the music and, of course, atheism rocks, is there any other goals you're having with the channel or anything that you would like to reach out and do? Interviews, games, or anything, you know, is there anything that you have an idea or something you'd like to, oh, I could try that and see what my hand's like at that?
No, music takes up a pretty good chunk of my my creative juices. But I am also interested in partaking in other people's channels, not only as like somebody who's being interviewed, but you know, maybe somebody who doesn't even get mentioned and is just in the back helping. And I don't know all the ways that I could help.
Do you like to
So, I
argue
mean,
with Christians? I need debaters. Do you like to
Oh,
argue
yeah.
with Christians?
I will say, yeah, I will.
Put you up against a precept? Tobin v. Darth? No?
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'll go for it.
Brilliant. There we go.
Yeah, I got
New debater. Writing you down. Yeah. Tobin shouted crazy Christians. There we are. But
I got to go on Richard Madison's channel, and I got a little bit of time with Khalil Allah in the after party, but I had a lot more I really wanted to say that night.
I did 3 series with Richard. I think we spent 7-8 months of last year going through all of Richard's beliefs, taking them we every Thursday, like tonight at 10, half 10. Yeah, it was half 10 on a Thursday. We went for an hour and a half every week, and then sometimes we had an after party as well, and sometimes it was maybe 2-3 hours in total. But we went and we did 7 months, 8 months of going through all of Richard's beliefs, taking the David and Goliath story, then going through the Epic of Gilgamesh and Book of Enoch, and taking Richard's beliefs and putting them into that book. Very, very interesting man, Richard. Lots of love for Richard, and thanks again, Richard, for what you did recently. But yeah, Richard's not a crazy Christian. Just the only thing I have to say about Richard is alien overlords. That's Richard's genuine, as is Spartan, another Christian that's in the chat as well. Very, very genuine man. A lot of love out to Spartan. Just had a couple of babies there, and hopefully everything's going well with the kids. Spartan, everybody's good. Like, but yeah, no, it's nice that I find that some Christians can come here. You go to some other atheist channels, you don't see Christians in the chat. I'm trying to do something here that we can bring people together, because as nice as it is to always talk to Christians, it's not an awful lot of fun to constantly surround yourself with people who agree with you. It's a lot more fun to disagree with people. It's a lot better learning experience as well. If you don't meet someone that you don't, everybody you agree with would all end up like fucking Christians, everything being reinforced on top of each other.
Yeah, it does sharpen the tool in a way, you know, to have those conversations if you disagree, and being able to have a good cordial conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my goal, is to have those kind of conversations.
Yes, that the conversation is the important thing. You know, for us to both have it, to be open to each other, and for the audience to see it and leave with questions and shit like that. I don't know if you've seen, you know, the asshole 104 v Richard or asshole 104 v Randolph, right? Like, I take no bullshit. I will fucking mute your ass, and I will fuck you off a cliff if you don't shut the fuck up or talk over the top of someone. Even if you're an atheist, even if you're a Christian, if you're rude and you're ignorant, I'll fucking shut you down. It's about talking. It's not about what your background is. I've defended Christians as quick as I've defended atheists if the other person is talking over the top of them. It's about manners, being cordial, being open to the conversation. It's not hard. It's really not hard to do. Be polite, listen to the other person, and be open. Basic human stuff.
And who's to say time doesn't go down the road and you might need to actually interact with that person down the road? Like, it might be really helpful to be able to, you know, be able to work with that person. But if you had a moment with them where you totally dogged them, you know.
Both Richard and Spartan would be examples of that. You know, Richard came and helped us with the show here and was here 7 months every week, and I would help him with his tech stuff and things like that there. Spartan, I've helped out with the tech and stuff like that there, and he's now coming back and joining in on the stream, hopefully on Saturday, Spartan, if you can still do that. So, you know, we're helping each other out. We're friends. You know, it's not just a guy on the internet. You know, we have a friendship. We try to build that. It's like, we can't carry a sofa for you because I'm in a different country, but I'll do what I can. You know? Has anybody any questions that they would like to ask Tobin? Has anybody anything on their mind that they would like to ask Tobin? And Tobin as well, if I could, I'm totally putting you on the spot. Not that we're ending it, another maybe 15, 20 minutes or so. You play us out, will you? You jam us out, yeah?
Sure.
There's been a couple of requests in the chat to hear a song, so we'll save that to the end, and I don't know. See what it'd be interesting to see your style. I played him the tune that we had earlier, and I'm guessing you're a wee bit of a rocker. Metallica, AC/DC, Rage Against the Machine, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, fuck it, Frank Zappa, Primus. Yeah, all good, good.
Primus is actually one of those, like, I'm a very big fan of theirs. Not only of their music, but their personalities and who they are.
The reason I mentioned Primus is because before we come on, I mentioned Christopher Mouty. I don't know if he's watching. I might have missed his name or not. He does pop by. Christopher Mouty does hangouts. He's old guard. He's in the community fucking 6-7 years or so like that. But he knows an awful lot of people in the music business. And he also teaches, not philosophy, psychology, I think it is. I think he teaches psychology as well. And plays the bass. Loves his Primus. Big into his Primus. So, yeah, we should definitely put you two together. That would be a good interview, good bit of fun. Like, a lot of good conversations over on Christopher's channel as well. Like, Sundays,
cool.
2 p.m. Eastern, 7 UK, I think it is. Christopher Mouty. I don't know how.
Yeah, I have not come across him yet.
No, outskirts. These the outskirts. Good channels. Don't like to share all the good channels. We like to keep some of them to ourselves. Like, I don't want to share this one. This is really nice over here. This is mine. This is my wee safe place. Question for Tobin. Silk steel or rough brass strings?
I play with the brass. But I do like silk. I do. I mean, the silk are nice, but yeah, I don't have the money to spend on those.
Animal Science TV. Chris wants to know, would Tobin be interested to upload a guitar track and then if somebody like him put a bass line and drums to it? We also have Harmonica Man. Harmonica Man. Have you met Harmonica Man? Get a harmonica thrown in there.
You know, that thought has crossed my mind, and I'm really interested, like, to send out a little guitar lick or something like that, or you send me something and I lay a track on top of it. Absolutely. Like right now, like the quality of my video footage is not the best quality. I just tried to get my rough idea of the song out, and it's also kind of a diary for me.
Yeah.
And my wife is the bass player, and she's using these recordings to learn the songs, and then we're gonna go back and record stuff. But I'm in a building process, and once I've finished my project, I will be able to set up even more tools, and I'll be able to collaborate with people on a much better.
That would be interesting. Yeah. A worldwide band of the atheist community. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to play live, and you know everybody would need 4K fiber optic out your ass internet to play live, so there's no lag, which probably wouldn't happen because we still are across the world. So, but it would be definitely, you know, what was it that they did in the 80s? The Feed the World or some fucking, what was it? Yeah, something like that, man.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of names who were a part of that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I'd totally be down for something like that. I very am interested.
Carlton Wilson is another member of the community. He's in the chat. Carlton is massive into his music and stuff like that as well. It takes him a fucking year to put a video out. He's very into his music. Him and his partner as well do that. So yeah, Carlton's definitely somebody you would reach out to, and yeah, that'll be fun. I'm totally putting a band together. I'm the manager. 10% bitches. 10%. Carlton wants to ask, what software do you use to record your music?
That I have Audacity.
Audacity. That's what we fucked about with the other day that we recorded that with as well. Like a wee bit of a fucker to set up, like, but yeah. It seems happy enough. Seems free.
Yeah. And then I also have a little Boss recorder too that I can plug in and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the software that I'm using is Audacity.
Yeah, it seemed like, as I say, a wee bit of a fuck about it. We got the hang of it within, like, I'd never used it before, and within 15-20 minutes we were recording stuff and adding tracks to it and messing around. Like, I need to get into the hotkeys and better editing of the copying and stuff like that, you know, the cutting out. It was slightly annoying to put his recording to the beat track that we have. I couldn't figure out how to move the bottom track, so we just deleted what we didn't need at the start. It's just easier. Fuck it. It worked.
Heck yeah, my battery is about to run out. I'm gonna grab my cable real quick and plug in real quick.
Yeah, cool. I'll slobber on about tomorrow. So yeah. As I say, tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. If everybody wants to call by here. I'm not too sure what we're going to start with. We'll have a wee opening, get the story out for Amanda and things like that. And if we get enough people in, we'll have a panel. We'll have some chats. We'll have some banter. If the crack is good and everybody's having fun, we might play some Quiplash. Dave's been fucking poking me and whinging at me because he hasn't played Quiplash in a while. So we maybe play some Quiplash, keep it upbeat. After that, we have... Let me get the list up here. This is an insane list. Right. After that, everybody then will go to Cider and Porch channel. Will be an hour in Cider and Porch. I'm not too sure what Rib's doing at the minute. Probably a panel, something like that. It will be mirrored here, but go to Cider's channel, hang out in the chat and stuff like that. The mirror here is just more of an event for a hub. After that, we have Junkshop Library and Jewell, and they've got prizes. I don't know what the competition is, but they're giving away prizes. So they're going to go for an hour. Then we have Be Just Be. Isn't that her name now? Be Just Be? I think that's their name now. They're going from what will be Eastern Standard Time 9 to 11. And then from 11 to 1, we've got Susan and Nathaniel on Divine Disbelief. From 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Arden, if anyone knows Arden from the Transatlantic Call-In Show, she'll be streaming on Twitch and doing some graphic design and things like that and just having a bit of crack. And there'll be a panel, people can jump in and talk, and that'll be going on Twitch. So anyone who doesn't have Twitch can then come to my channel and watch it. I'll be mirroring it, all going fucking well if this fucking shit works. We'll be here on mine so we can watch that. Then back here at 3 a.m. Eastern, Blatant Atheist is taking over the channel. It's just easier because he's small at the minute, so we're going to let him take over the channel. He'll run a panel. I'm not too sure what he's going to do. I think there's a wee skit we're going to be doing. After that, then we go to Australia. We've got Vagrant Sam for 2 hours. Then we've got Nervadia and Notcha for an hour. Then we have Chris from the Hereticals for 2 hours. Then back to the East Coast for 2 hours. We've got BRAINBUG. I'm not sure what Brian's doing. If he's in the chat, wants to give us a heads up or a wee spoiler. After BRAINBUG, then we've got the Rage. He's going to go for 2 hours. Then we're back to the UK for Godless Scummer. He's going to go for 2 hours. Then all going well, Spartan, I think I need to just chat with him. He's going to go for an hour. And then back here again for the last hour, where we will probably all sit around and just go, I'm so tired. I'm really tired. We did it. We did it. I'm so tired. So that'll probably be the last hour. And yeah, then I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep like a little baby. I'm going to climb in beside my wee girl and I'm going to fucking sleep for about 12 hours. But that's tomorrow. So yeah, as you can see, there's a fuckload of channels. Everybody's taking part. We're going to be jumping about, also with the hub here, but we're going to be jumping about channels and trying to bring awareness. If anybody can share it about, if anybody can do anything, it's just, if this works out, you know, I know that we have already met the goal to get Amanda out. We've got the security deposit, we've got our first month's rent, and we've got enough for the dog, because the dog needs a wee bit extra of a deposit and stuff like that. And yeah, we've already hit the goal of Amanda's going to be safe. Now she just needs a bed and some sofas and things like that there, you know. But the main thing is that she's going to be safe. So that's definitely the amount of people that have contributed and the amount of people that put in. And I don't mind saying this because he mentioned it earlier on stream. Speed, Sound of Gravity, donated $500 in the name of his daughter. His daughter, if anyone doesn't know the story, his daughter was a victim of abuse and ended up getting murdered. And he's donated that in memory of his daughter. So that was a massive, massive help. So yeah, that's happening tomorrow. This is what happens when you get up and leave. We all get serious, man. But yeah, thanks to everybody who's put into that so far. And yeah, I'm getting fucking emotional. Tobin, say something funny.
Something funny, real funny. You know, most of the time, you know, I can be funny, but most of the time I'm the guy who sets up the person to make the punchline. You know, I get laughs, but I'm usually the one being laughed at. But I'm all right with that.
I am totally fine with that. Self-depreciating humor. If you can't laugh at yourself, you'll not be able to take a fucking joke if you can't laugh at yourself.
Yeah, and how miserable would that be? Like,
stuck up.
I can't even imagine it.
Yeah, no.
Ooh.
Very, very little would faze me. I don't like people telling lies about me. I don't like selfish people. That's about it. I don't like to repeat myself. I really don't like to fucking repeat myself. I know that's something that I personally need to work on. But yeah, if I've told you 3 times, you should have fucking listened the first time. Now I'm pissed off.
I used to tell my kids, I was like, is my name Repeat Pete? And they'd look up at me and I was like, is my name Repeat Pete? Do I need to say this again?
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
I have a phrase with my wee girl. It's like, I don't negotiate with toddlers, honey. Come here. I'm not repeating myself. I don't negotiate with toddlers. Come here. Do you mind if I ask what age are the kids?
Oh, I got teenagers now. I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old.
And I assume that they would have been raised secular.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure have.
No.
I did.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I've taught them the major ones, and I've let them know about, you know, there's many other little religions. I try to have these kind of conversations with them. Like a lot of the stuff that I learned, I try to pass to them. Everything, I really try to. Really, everything that I'm doing is basically I'm trying to get them set up, basically for, you know, that day that I will be going. But I try to give them every bit I can, every bit of knowledge, every bit of it.
Yeah, I do not, like, as much as I say that I don't negotiate with toddlers, I don't speak to Elena like a toddler. You know, I speak to her at her own level. I get down on the ground as well. Something that I always find is definitely necessary is you don't talk down to a child, get down to the child's level. And yeah, I have that conversation with them. And Elena's coming up this weekend and she cannot wait to get into my dad's new digger. She loves getting her boiler suit on and coming and helping me fucking fix the car. She gets out in the rivers with me. She loves baking cakes with me. Anything I do, if it's during the time that I'm looking after Elena, you're coming too. It's like, you need a babysitter, you're going to take the car apart. No. She hands me tools. This is what she's there for. It's legalized slavery, you know. This is what kids are for. Bring them along, get them to help out. Like.
You know, and that, you know, that kind of upbringing I had, and now I can seriously take apart a car and put it back together and then drive away. I've done it before.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, taking a motor out of a vehicle and whatever I need to do, putting it back in and driving away.
Yeah, I blew mine up and then blew mine up, punched a concrete wall, broke my hand, was off for 3 months. What are you going to do for 3 months? I have a new engine to put in. I blew up my car. Funny story on that. The night that we started taking it apart, me and my friend sat with a bottle of Black Label Smirnoff vodka at like 40% 50% nearly, and we went and got little takeaway dishes, and all the bolts that we took out we put in the takeaway dishes. You know, everything was nicely organized and all, everything perfect. Come down the next morning, hung over to continue with what we were doing. We forgot to label any of the boxes. We had about 30 boxes of bolts and no fucking clue where any of them went. This is the first time we'd ever taken an engine apart. The first time to take it apart and put it back together took 2 weeks. And when we did that, the one that we put in was actually busted. So we then had to do it again. And this time it took us 2 days. Because it was like, yeah, we know what we're doing. Label the boxes.
But you know, that's another little nickname I give myself is 2 times Tobin, and it's not because I mess around on my wife or anything like that, but it's because I often have to do things 2 times. I'll do something and I go, fuck, 2 times Tobin. I have to take this apart and let's put it back right. I gotta be nice and do it twice, you know?
My
Like, that is,
my stepdad
that's one of my pet peeves of myself.
My stepdad would be slightly the opposite, where he does it once, but he takes that long to do it once to make sure it's done right. He probably could have done it 3 times, twice wrong. Like, we were putting a drop link in a car, right? And a drop link you put in and you only take out when it breaks. You know what I mean? With the drop link, the 2 wee rubber bushings on a leg. You know, take up the shock and the shake of the car, maybe in the suspension or something like that. Yeah. So that goes on and never comes off again. That only comes off when it's broke. And we were putting it on and we put it onto the wrong threads. And he spent 45 minutes taking it off again, rethreading the whole thing. I was like, force it the fuck on, Dad. It's never coming off again until it's broke. Nope, we're going to do it right. A 10-minute job takes an hour. It was like, I'm going to shoot this man. I'm going to fucking shoot this man. But, yeah, it's fun to tinker. I enjoy tinkering. I enjoy playing with stuff, you know. Definitely, I'm enjoying my job more so now, something that I'd never done before, and I'm absolutely loving it, playing with CNC machines and all that sort of stuff. And I built this table. Thank you again to the Patreons and everyone that contributes to the channel. Sheet of MDF, 2 days work, plans, measurements, stands for the TVs and stuff like that there, and all made out. And then I went and got floor tiles for the top. This is floor tiles, like grey floor tiles in the top of it. It's all lovely and smooth and clean, white clean, no spills or anything. Building, tinkering, it's fun. I'm rambling now. Now I'm rambling.
I agree. I'm the same way, and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, everything can be broken down and turned into something else.
Yep.
And I really try to do that as much as I can, and not throw stuff away. Although I do throw trash away, I can't wait until I can figure out a solution to that.
No,
like,
I totally agree.
It's bothersome to me.
The surround sound system I have in the living room is well over 3,000 watts with a subwoofer that must be a foot by a foot by a foot, and it's a Frankenstein that's made of like 6 old speakers that you would have in the back of your car, 6x9 3-way speakers, an old subwoofer set, and a couple of stands. These a woman was throwing these out. Like these are, I don't know, these are lovely. They're like glass tops. They're like it's fucking, oh, there we go. Won 4 of these out along with the subwoofer and everything because the amplifier for her surround sound system broke, and she gave them away for nothing. 4 of these, a surround sound system and all, because the amp didn't work. I have a fucking amp down the stairs. I just plugged it into my amp. That thank you very much. That's free. Now my surround sound system in the living room makes the chair shake. It's brilliant. Exactly. Absolutely, exactly, man. I can't put it past 35%. After 35%, it's just so
That's awesome.
Any other questions from the chat? Anything anybody would like to ask Tobin? And Tobin, I will give the floor to you for the last couple of minutes if there's anything that you would like to say, and then I'm totally going to tap you to show us your skills and play us out, if that's cool.
All right.
Yeah, cool. So, questions from the
Sounds
chat. You have 2 minutes. And Tobin, is there anything that you would like to put across? Anything you would like to say? Anything that you've found? Or if there's any problems with the community as a new person looking out or looking in from the outside, is there anything that you see that we could improve upon?
Really, I can't speak to any problems. And I enjoy, I kind of see it as one big community, but I know that's the wrong way to look at it, because there's yeah,
it's just because you're new, because you're sort of new. Yeah. The whole thing, you'll fall down a wee rabbit hole and get yourself a yeah.
But I think the more integrated we can get, I think we can be a force for good. I think we could all work together and achieve many goals. I mean, more than just normalizing atheism, I think it is something that is very possible. And I just would encourage people, if you're not a debater, if you're not, wanting to argue with Christians and stuff, take your artwork and stuff like that. That was one of the early things that started chipping away at beliefs, was artwork and music and the literature, all the arts.
Yeah.
I can pull back to one that had expressed a disbelief, and that was chipping away at it. And if you're not good at debating or whatever, but you're really good at painting, bring your paintings in and have a message behind it that makes somebody think about it.
Generally in the community here as well, anything that you've got, we've already got someone there that's willing to help. If it's art or if it's music, there's Tobin as well, can now help or chip in, and music and bands. And as he says, we're a community here. We're a group of friends. Let's get better at helping each other. Let's get better at feeling more comfortable as well. The fact that if you come home from work and you can sit with 6 other atheists and talk about how this, that, and the other happened, it makes you feel more comfortable as well. So when you go back out onto the street, you're not that one person sitting at home alone that doesn't talk about this because you're just stuck watching edited videos on YouTube. We have a community. You feel empowered by that. It gives you confidence, and we need that confidence moving out into the real world, to be outspoken, to say these things, to stand up against not so much the religion, but what people do in the name of religion. They take that power, they take that stance, and don't hate the people, hate what they do. So, on that, I have one question. Dave's having a shit attack. He thinks I'm gonna fucking ignore his question for the 3rd time now. Was Tobin homeschooled?
No, I went to public school.
There you go.
They failed miserably.
Question from Paul Camish. How did you get into writing music?
It was just a natural curiosity. I wanted to just learn about it. I was warned as a kid, you don't put all your eggs in one basket, and I didn't pay attention to that, and I put all my eggs in one basket just about. It wasn't until a little bit later that I started trying to expand my mind a little more, but music has been something that got to me at a very, very young age. I don't remember a time where I wasn't messing with it.
Yeah, music to me, I don't have the ability to write music, but I do have the inability sometimes to express myself, and music to me is very, very expressive, and I'm one of these stupid old school sort of fuckers. Alright, I can't make a mixtape now because nobody has a fucking tape deck, but I'll make you a mixed YouTube playlist, It's something that I spent maybe 12 weeks on working for Manda, to try and get that story just right, the way it goes up and down. Music is very, very expressive to me, and it's very, very important. I used to walk around with 300 CDs in the suitcase before fucking iPods existed. It was like, this has to come everywhere with me. It must be there. And
yeah,
no. People don't understand. It's like, what the fuck, Robbie? What are you doing? It's like, nope. School bag, lunch, 300 CDs. I must have all my music with me at all times. It's like, I have 14 fucking albums of Motorhead. It's like 6 pages of just Motorhead. It's just but it must be there. It's in the back seat of the car now. I have it from I'm 18. It's still there, man. Everything's digital now, but in the car I have a CD player, and it's nice to be nostalgia. I listen to CDs that I made when I was 18 and 19. Sometimes there's fucking Disturbed on it, a bit of Limp Bizkit every now and again. It's just like, oh my goodness, what am I doing listening to this? But yeah, definitely with music, man, a great addition. Again, with Blatant Atheist, who's reached in, who's taking over tomorrow. He mainly focuses on comedy, with the atheism as a backdoor, as a sort of a backstop, and it's really good. What I'm hoping to do, and what we're finding as well, is the new people that's coming into the community now. The atheism is there. It's what's brought us all together. It's that umbrella that we all stand under. But fuck, we just don't want to talk about it all the time. And you want to just jam, and you want to just have a good night and go smoke some weed and fucking chill. go hang out over in Tobin's. Go hang out in a harmonica man. You know, that man can play a fucking harmonica for sure. I have a couple of his songs recorded. Like, it's just get together and hang out. You've had a bad day, you know, crigged your toe, boss shouted at you, lost 20 quid. You know, come and laugh at Blatant, go jam with Tobin. It's definitely good instead of having the option of go watch a debate on Jeff's channel or go watch Robbie talk shite, or, you know, having that outlet, that other experience that's not atheism, is definitely great. So, you know, wonderful addition to the community, man. Wide open arms. Had a great conversation considering I knew fuck all going in. A lot of fun. Leaving it definitely enjoying it. Music choices, yeah. Tell a lot about a person. You didn't say Dolly Parton. You didn't say Garth Brooks. You're definitely doing well. And saying that, though, I was raised in Garth Brooks. My mother loves fucking Garth Brooks. Ain't going down to the sun comes up. I can still sing every single one of them words at the speed he does in the fucking song. Like, but, right. Yes, I don't see any other questions. Oz, thanks for coming by. I see Oz has just slipped in at the end. Thanks to everybody for coming by. Paul and Secular Pagan Mum, Carlton, Dave, everybody that's come by. I don't even remember. We've got nearly 30 people watching. This is fantastic. Awesome. Fantastic. Like, so, Tobin, I've had your speech. Now let's see your skills. Okay. Let me mute my mic and make sure I'm in tune, and I'll be right back. Perfect, man. Thank you very much for doing that as well. Like, I know we sort of put it on the spot. There was a few people, friends in low places. Go away, Secular Pagan Mum. Shh. No more Garth Brooks talk. It's a nice green as well. I don't know if Tobin can still hear us, but I noticed that in the picture. It's a beautiful green. This is the artist taking his time, tweaking and tuning. I don't know about anybody, but I tried to play a guitar before. Did not work. I think the bass may suit me better because it's slightly bigger. My fingers aren't as closely compacted. Played the drums a wee bit. Lambeg drum. If anybody knows what a lambeg drum is. Big fucking thing made out of goat skin with two sticks that a lot of prods play over here. Tobin, according to Oz, your new mic should be arriving tomorrow. So brilliant. Whoa. Man, a big shout out to Oz and Pasta Mike. Holy cow. Those guys sit me like I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm like, what? That's going to help me definitely make better quality content, and I will put those tools to use, and I aim to make y'all proud. Seriously. Yeah, well, considering that you're focused on audio, we need to get you good audio. Take that skill, use it to its maximum. And thanks, Oz, for doing that. You know, and I know, Oz, that we've chatted back and forth a couple of times. We haven't got anything set in stone. Definitely need to get you on, but as everybody now knows with what's been happening over this last few months, you know, that's why I haven't been doing as much stuff and things like that. We've been focusing on that, but hopefully all in the next month or so, that's going to be absolutely sorted. It is going to be sorted, and man, I'll have our new Screw Loose News show with Dave and everything, and yeah, it's all in the up and up. Definitely all going up and up. So, Tobin, if you are ready, I will hand the floor to you. Let me see if I can make you full screen for this. Do. You just start, man. I'll worry about the production. Let me find a groove. Just gonna improv right here. Welcome to MathPig's channel. We're gonna hang out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of going aimlessly.
Totally muted. Thanks. Yeah, muted. Nobody else heard me. Oh. Yeah, Tobin's
I
great.
heard you.
I'm shit. Tobin's great. I'm shit. There you are. Fuck's sake. I muted myself for the music. Fucking useless. Right. So, yeah. Yeah, I know I'm muted. There's like 7 messages. Damn this delay. I forgot to hit high. Yeah. Right. Yes. I said there's 30-second delay in the chat, people. 30-second delay. So, Tobin, I know we did put you on the spot. Thank you very, very much for doing that. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm not muted anymore. Yous are now just assholes. So thanks everybody for coming tonight. As I say, tomorrow, give us a shout round tomorrow at 5 Eastern, and we will be starting a 24-hour stream. That's definitely going to be an undertaking. I have scheduled 4 hours sleep somewhere in amongst that. I think it's when it hits Australia I'm gonna go to sleep, because when it's 2 days ahead of where I am, it's time to sleep. So I might do that. But yeah, all going well. That'll definitely be happening. If anybody does want to be involved, I'm gonna make an announcement on Twitter as well, and start adding other people to the group, not just content creators. There's a wee Twitter group for the content creators. I want to get anybody who wants to be involved or who wants to jump in and out of a panel. We have all the slots filled, but if anybody wants to just, jump in and hang out with the people that's hanging out, if they're doing a hangout, if they're doing a panel, every channel is doing their own thing, but I think a lot of them will be having panels. So I'll make an announcement on Twitter. Watch my Twitter. We'll get you tagged that way. We'll be able to get you into the Twitter group, and then I'll be posting a StreamYards link in there for everybody that can jump in and out of as the day goes along, get involved, scream and shout and share it out. And yeah, blown away by, like, we haven't even had the stream yet, and we're already 2/3 of the way there in the goal. So, showing Manda how much everybody loves her is nearly as much as I love her. I love her more, but huge love for Manda, and huge love for everybody that's contributed for that. So on that, we will say thanks everybody for coming. Thank you very much for Tobin. Thanks for everybody who has contributed to Manda's. Really, really, really. And yeah, we'll see you all back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. And everybody, think for yourselves.